Hey YouTube, welcome back to my channel. This is Nathan Daley. I'm your law enforcement translator, 13 years of experience, you guys, to give you insight on all things law enforcement. Listen, let's dive right into this issue. We are talking about Daunte Wright. We're talking about Officer Potters. This is the trial. We're going to discuss the cross-examination. We're getting right into the content, you guys. There's a lot of misinformation. And of course, as you know, I'm here to clarify some things. I'm here to give insight. You guys, listen, I'm not your enemy. Let's be very clear. I'm not your enemy. I am here stepping out on faith to have good faith arguments with you, to share with you the insights. We're here to work together. Again, I'm here as an agent to rebuild this damage that has occurred, this trust that's been broken. I'm not your enemy. As you guys know, I put out a previous video. You guys are a little salty about it. That's okay, we're gonna talk about it. But recognize the idea that someone from the inside has come out to speak to you. Keep that in mind when we're having these discussions. Understand, I'm giving you honest truth. I'm not here to complain. I'm here to tell you what it is. Not what it should be, I'm telling you what it is. We are talking about now Daunte Wright. Let me break down what happened. We are doing a cross-examination of Officer Lucky. Officer Lucky is the training officer who is being trained by Officer Potters. He's a rookie.
Hey, what's going on, man? You got a driver's license and proof of insurance for me at all? You don't have a driver's license? Okay. What's your name? You're Daunte? Okay, gotcha. Well, there's a couple things here's why I stopped you. The air freshener hanging down there. Yep, can you, and then our other question is your tabs.
Yeah, they're expired. I'm getting them at the moment, but due to Corona and stuff, if they're taking it slow, I have to set up an appointment.
Okay, okay. Do you have any, who's the car registered to? What's his name? Okay. Alright, do you have insurance for the vehicle then? You got any type of identification at all? Yeah. Yeah, just keep looking for the insurance, and then I'm gonna write your name and date of birth down, alright? So. What's your first name? How do you spell it? D-A-U-N-T? Okay. T-E? Okay. What's your middle name? R-I-U-S? Okay. What's your last name? Okay. And then what's your date of birth? Okay. Sounds good. Alright, just keep looking for that. Oh, you don't have a driver's license, you said, so...
So my brother will have
Where do you stay at? Okay. Okay, I got you, man. What's an address for you, you said? 2814 North Wayne Drive. What's the phone number for you? Okay. 3360? Okay. Alright. So I'm assuming there's just no insurance in there then, or? That looks like it. So this is definitely not it. It expired in 2017. So, does your brother have a valid driver's license? Okay. Dallas, okay. Let me see that again, the insurance there. You said, so it should be registered now, right? Okay. So this name insured is Taylor R. Pagel. So, Corvette and Buick. Okay.
When you ran the plates, what did they say?
It came back as Dallas, yeah. So, let me make sure, okay. Alright. Well, just sit down right back, man. Just keep looking for the insurance, okay? Okay. say he was lying, but I think he's honestly telling the truth, so.
Your incident has been updated. New message.
Or Dary's.
License status suspended. Mail. State records hit.
See? You don't want to code for yourself.
Daunte Wright.
Weapons violation.
And it smells like marijuana in the car, so it's the second one we got.
3238 10 person.
Affirmative.
You're going to want to find out who the female is because there's no FP.
Yep.
There's a harassment on her.
His warrant is for the weapons violation.
Has been updated.
Now, Officer Lucky's on the stand. He's getting ready to tell us the turn by turn. What actually happened? He talks about how he's driving. He's pulling up on this vehicle, this white Buick. He notices a couple things. He notices that there's an object, air fresheners, hanging from the rearview mirror. Now, I have to say this. One of our subscribers, you guys, called me out and said, hey, listen, Officer Daley, that's not true. He was stopped because he had air fresheners hanging from his rearview mirror. I said, there's no way. That's not a crime. It's definitely not a crime in Georgia. You can hang air fresheners. People do it all the time. Well, guess what? According to Minnesota law, it's against the law, you guys. That's their law. But it's not air freshener. It's any objects. You can't hang any objects that would obstruct the view of the main windshield. You can't have it. That's a law. It may sound stupid to you. It may sound silly, you guys, but that's the law. That's equivalent to us in Georgia. You're not allowed to drive and hold your cell phone in your hand. It's against the law in Georgia. The law just got passed like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Right? That's actually the reason I pulled the gentleman over who caused my accident. You can't text and drive in Georgia. You can't FaceTime and drive in Georgia. You can't live stream and drive in Georgia. You can't do any of those things and hold the phone. People do it. Countless of accidents because of it. So what does he say? Hey, I see objects hanging from the rearview mirror. Well, what does the law say for those who don't agree with it? According to Minnesota Statute 169-71, the windshield prohibits generally a person shall not drive or operate a motor vehicle with a windshield cracked or discolored to an extent to limit or obstruct proper vision. Any objects suspended between the driver and the windshield other than sun visors. That's the law, and I believe there's only 5 other states that have it. We're looking at Pennsylvania, California, Illinois, right? So these are other states that also have this same law, you guys. Only 5, I believe, have it. So this is a law. The officer was justified in his observation, seeing that there were objects hanging from the rear view mirror. It's against the law in Minnesota. What else did he find out? Upon running his tags, the tags were expired. That's also against the law. You can say what you want about COVID, you guys. It doesn't matter. What we're looking at are the facts. What do the facts say? The laws were broken. Which were the laws? Obstructed view of the windshield. You can't hang anything from the rear view mirror. What else? The tag was expired. Those are the violations. No insurance. Those are violations. He pulls him over. Officer Lucky gets out the car. He approaches the driver. He immediately states he smells the odor of marijuana. You guys, that within itself. He says he sees marijuana debris shake on the dashboard. That's probable cause enough, you guys. He already has multiple violations. You may not like it. We're dealing with the facts, though. What else does he say? Sir, do you have your license? Daunte tells him, I don't have a license. I have no license. That's in the state of Georgia. That's arrestable by itself. Is it suspended? You're not even supposed to be driving. Hasn't even ran his name yet. He says, okay, you have no license. Do you have insurance? Has no insurance. He can't find the insurance. He can't verify the insurance on the car. He states the car belongs to his brother. That's fine. So he asks for his information, he takes it, he goes back to the vehicle, he runs his name, and then Daunte comes back wanted with a warrant, as we know, in reference to a weapons violation. I go into detail on my previous video if you want to know the details about that warrant. He gets out the vehicle and he looks at Officer Potters and say, hey, listen, we got to make this arrest. I said, okay, let's do it. And you guys know the rest. You know the rest. So we have to clarify those things. What does he say, though?
Hey, Daunte. All right, man, here, do me a favor. Just step up and I'll explain what's going on. You can just put your phone on the dashboard there, okay? And then the paper. I'll explain all that in a second, okay? Just turn around, put your hands on your back. Okay, so you are going to be under arrest, okay? You do have a warrant, so. Don't. It's enough, bro. Don't do it. Don't do it. Bring it back. Hey, door. Stop. Ah, he shot me. Get in the car.
Yes! I grabbed the wrong fucking gun! I shot him! Oh my god!
Kim, sit down.
Oh my god!
PI access 63rd and Captain Drive, flight from 38 stop, start north on the red.
Starting north on the red, then can you repeat your first part, please?
He talks about how he gets out the car and he approaches Daunte, asks him to get out the car. He talks about his hesitation. He talks about how he was really kind of not wanting to get out, but eventually got out. He talked about how he wouldn't follow his commands in reference to him being under arrest. He was resisting passively. But what's the issue here? You have 3 officers on the scene. You have a training officer, Potters. You have Sergeant Johnson. They all know that Daunte has an active warrant for a weapons violation. Because of his warrant, that should have awakened a different type of tactical, strategic response from all 3 officers. And I'm going to tell you why. The moment they found out that he had a warrant for a weapons violation, they should have been more aggressive on how they approached the situation, how they decided to work on detaining him and arresting him for that warrant. Everybody was so casual. And as officers, being casual in a dangerous situation can get us hurt. So what happened? We know he resisted arrest. We know that she shot him.
I just shot him!
Get in the car.
Yes! I grabbed the wrong fucking gun! I shot him! Oh my god!
Kim, sit down.
Oh my god!
I got it.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Starting north on the red.
Are you okay? Just breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. Just breathe. No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Kim, that guy was trying to take off with me in the car.
It's okay. Just breathe. He's still okay. Breathe. Breathe.
Kim, take a breath, okay? Kim, take a breath. All right.
No, no, just go, just go.
Oh my God.
But then the car, after the shooting, he goes into a description of what Officer Potters was doing after the car took off. He said he backs off. He's like, oh my God, I can't believe he got shot. Officer Potters, then she's in disbelief. She gets on the ground and she starts weeping. She starts crying. They showed this video to the jury. The jury gets to see this. They get to see that this sadness, this regret. Oh my God, I didn't mean to. Oh my God, I'm gonna go to prison. I can't believe I killed this boy. That's what she's saying. She was crying. Then the sergeant said something very interesting. He said, listen, you had to do something. I was in the car. He would have drugged me down the car. He's confirming to her that, listen, if you didn't do something, you didn't have a choice. I was partially in the vehicle. The problem that I have with Potters crying is that she was crying for herself. She wasn't crying for Daunte, right? That fear was about her losing her freedom, not that she took someone's life. Think about it. Look at the reaction. What reaction would I be looking at as a prosecutor? Someone who made an honest mistake, I am going to try my best to save their life. What does she do? She broke down. In that moment, the only thing she could think about was herself. That's a problem. That's a problem. What did the officers do at the scene? They see Daunte's car fly down the road. They witness the car hit another car head on. You can hear the crash in the background. They didn't do anything. The supervisor, no one responded. And what they're doing is they're sitting here, they're consoling this 26-year veteran. No, get up. We need to go down here and address this situation. He was shot. He just hit a vehicle head on. He went into the grass to a ditch. We need to go and see about him. I was very shocked about the performance. Very shocked. I was very, very shocked, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. My immediate thought would be we need to leave and go address that. Instead, they all stayed right there. Now, honestly, what they might be thinking is preserving the crime scene, but truth be told, you just shot someone. The crime scene is moving. We can always go back. I would have left the rookie there and I would have went down there to address the subject, Daunte. The supervisor knew that there was an injured, someone potentially shot, and then of course, there's a passenger. I don't like it. But there's another incident that took place. There was an officer who was responding to assist. He's coming from the opposite direction. He's actually directly behind the car that actually had a head-on collision with Daunte. Daunte's driving, he goes into oncoming traffic and strikes the vehicle head on. So this officer gets out. And what does he do?
She's saying that she's tired of being a Democrat because of the absolute.
3219, PI exit 63rd Captain Drive, left from 38 start north on the Reds. On the Reds. Put your hands up! 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 Put them up! Put your hands up! Put them up! Put your hands up! 3219, several at gunpoint, 63rd and Captain Drive. start north on the Reds and start 2 rigs. We've got a civilian car injured as well. As soon as we get additional cars, I'll check for injuries. Suspects are not compliant. They're moving around. Put your hands up! Lower the window! Ma'am, are you okay? Stay there. Stay there. 3219. We'll take 2 rigs, stage them a couple blocks out. What's that? 3219. The driver is not breathing. I'll take an additional squad and we'll yank him out. But get him here on the Reds. I'm by myself holding him at gunpoint. Three 219, make it 3 rigs. I got 1 male not breathing, 1 female with facial lacerations, and then I've got another civilian car that I have not been able to check on yet. Incoming squad, come to me at 63rd and Catherine so we can get the driver out and the passenger, and then we'll have to check on anyone else after, but the driver is not breathing according to the passenger. Passenger's moving around, I can't see him, but we're going to need to extricate him if he's not breathing. So I'll wait for additional to come up with the plan. Okay, so female passenger, driver.
I just wanted to pause quickly. 2:06 and right on the dot. Would you agree that that's the timestamp that the video's paused at?
The officer's at the scene with his gun out. In his mind, he's doing what we call a felony stop. He doesn't know what's going on with the car. He knows the car fled from a traffic stop that he was en route to help. He sees the car go off the side of the road onto oncoming traffic and collide with the vehicle he's directly behind. No one has told him anything. For all he knows, the suspect is in the car and could be armed. Whose responsibility was to communicate? The people at the scene. The people at the scene. He had no knowledge because they never said anything. The moment they said shots fired, he was already out the car with the gun out. What should they have done at the scene? Someone should have pursued the vehicle. He was shot. You can't let a victim or a suspect who was shot just drive off. This is horrible police tactics, you guys. Listen, this is why people are upset. I get it. I get it. This is a training problem. This is a poor choice problem. This domino effect, this collateral damage from an officer making a mistake, from a suspect making a mistake. All of this has unfolded. All of these lives have changed. Listen, you guys. Be careful when you're dealing with officers. Why? It's like Russian roulette. What does that mean? You don't know how well trained of an officer you are getting when you encounter them. Russian roulette, you guys. Normally 1 bullet in the gun, right? The revolver, you spin it, you pull the trigger. Some officers you playing Russian roulette have 3 bullets that you're spinning against. You're taking a chance. Some have 4. You don't know how well trained, right? How skilled, how confident, or where their heart is. You just don't. You don't. Why is it even, it's not even worth resisting arrest, especially when you're wrong, especially when you're guilty. Look at all the lives impacted behind 2 people's decisions. Man, you guys, it's crazy. How many lives are taken by officers because someone resisted. The moment you resist, you just increase the chance of your safety. This is why we say, hey, listen, we always give this disclaimer for your safety and for ours. Hey, sir, for your safety, I just ask that you keep your hands on the dashboard, please. Hey, for your safety, sir, keep your hands out of your pocket. For your safety, I need you. There's a reason for that. Because if you do something other than what I ask you that's lawful, and you put me in fear for my safety or the safety of someone else, I can't guarantee your safety. This is the reality that people need to understand. You don't like it, that's fine, but this is the country you live in. These are the rules that the country plays by. Daunte Wright is responsible for his choices. The officer, Potters, is responsible for her choices. And in those bad choices, we have all this collateral damage. Now you have an officer who doesn't want to approach the car because he doesn't know the circumstances involving this accident. He can't go and rush to the car and render aid, you guys. He can't put himself in danger. That is the whole point of this thing. Officers cannot put themselves in danger. He could have easily went up to the car and been shot at. What does he do? He waits for backup, as he should. Who should have came to his backup? The officers at the scene. That is a moving crime scene. They should have pursued him. They heard the accident. They saw the collision. No excuse. So I heard a lot of people talking about they didn't like the response. All these multiple officers stacking up. The comments that were made, I agree, they're very insensitive. What can you do? They couldn't render aid in time. If they would have got to him sooner, could they have saved his life? I don't know. But that officer and officers are not going to put themselves in position. It took, I believe, 5 minutes for a backup officer to arrive while that officer had his gun out in position. He couldn't see how many people were in the car because the tent was so dark. That's what took so long. The passenger's girlfriend was shouting, hey, he's not breathing. He's not breathing. Okay, yeah, we hear that, ma'am. We need you to get out the car. The officer never communicated with anybody. It was bad. This whole thing, now that I obviously with trial, you get to see more. You get to see more of the evidence that comes out. Things that the media, and of course, they don't ever release. We don't really have all the details, but the more and more this stuff comes out, it looks bad, you guys. It looks bad. My personal opinion, I don't see her, she's gonna get convicted. She's gonna get convicted. Even the angle the defense is trying to make is a very poor argument. Trying to lean on the idea that these two officers were potentially in fear to receive great bodily harm, and that even though she thought she had her taser, she had her gun, meaning that regardless, the circumstances would have justified her in using her gun anyways. I don't like that argument. I don't. I think that's the wrong argument. I think Officer Potters was better off pleading her case to the jury and hoping that they give her 5 years instead of 10. All right, you guys, I don't want this video to be too long. That's my basic summary over the cross-examination. The officer just gave his story, his accounts to the situation. I mean, it's not really a lot to go off of. You hear the second officer on the scene who responded to the crash. You had other officers who talked about how they provided medical care. And overall, the scene was a cluster. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. This goes to show if one officer makes a mistake and other officers do not pick up that weight, how much of a domino effect of disaster things can be. All from not communicating in a timely manner. Communication's key. Regardless, officers should have followed up. So let me know your thoughts, you guys. This was a very, very, very sad, tragic incident. And I don't see her coming out of this without being convicted. Let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And with that, you guys, good night. God bless.